Hello learners, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you're welcome. I'm IJ Gold. I hope you can consider subscribing. Well, in today's video, I will be discussing research. There are some questions some students have asked me recently, especially around how do I even get a good research question? Or what kind of topic should I research on? These and other questions I'll be responding to in this video. Don't go away. Right, good. So let's go right into it. Well, if you are just starting out and you're not certain what your research topic should be, a good place to start is what your research interest is. So, what are you interested in? What do you want to find out? What's that thing that's intriguing to you? And of course, you also want to ensure that it's within your field. Okay, so take an instance of an interesting topic by a student that was he was really passionate about the topic because it was very personal. So for example, what is a cure for dementia, or what's the cure for cancer? That's a very interesting research topic, and in the right field that would have been a great research to investigate. However, for a master's dissertation, you want to check time is very important. For a sectional study, 3 months may not be enough to embark on such a research that's been ongoing for years or decades. So just be aware of that. So anyway, within the business school, we had to encourage that student to actually think about themes that are relevant to his HR background, his HR field, and it was coined differently. So for example, how can employees be trained, or how can training and development enable employees to care for cancer patients or dementia patients? Now that fits better into the field. So your interest is important, but it needs to be connected to your field. And that's not to say you can't borrow concepts or theories from other fields. Of course you can, but the core focus should be relevant to your field broadly, So for business and management, you could draw on any aspects of it, from supply chain to HR to leadership to management to international business. You have a broad spectrum to draw from. But I would dare to say that it would suit you best if you pick a subject area that is closest to your own field. So if you're in HR, maybe worth doing something related to human resource management. All right, so there's this interesting exercise I do with my students you may want to try. Mind mapping. Pick a piece of paper. On that paper, I needed to draw a circle. Within the circle, write the field you're interested in, or your field. So for example, HR. Okay, if you've done that, well done. Now draw lines and write subjects or topics under the field or the subject of interest. For example, for HR, I'm going to draw my own line to include performance management, talent management, recruitment and selection, reward management, and inclusivity and diversity, for example. I'm interested in recruitment. Within recruitment, I could decide to look at the issue of age. For some countries, like in Nigeria, age is an issue. Most companies want to select or choose their candidates based on their age. Now, of course, in the UK, based on the Equalities Act 2010, that is direct discrimination. But it happens in Nigeria. Maybe there aren't laws, or the laws aren't executed, whatever it is, that's what happens. And I'm interested, I want to find out how that impacts employees. So is the age a good criteria to tell whether they'll perform better? Is there any connection there? Why are organizations doing this? And there you have it, a research topic. So you have my interests is connected to my field. Is it visible? Yes. Can I get candidates to fill in my questionnaires? Your method of data collection is also very important. At a master's level, you're free to do a literature review. You could do a structured literature review, systematic literature review. We'll talk about this in other videos. Okay. So once you have an idea of what you want to talk about based on what's relevant to your field and what's visible, you now need to phrase it properly. Phraseology is very important. And of course, your title, you can look at a good tip for you, look at some journal articles and you'll get a sense of how titles are phrased in your field. Now, your research question should reflect what your title is. Just phrase as a question. So let's assume that I wanted to talk about the impact of COVID on women working from home. My research question is, to what extent did COVID impact women working from home? And then you need to have research objectives. So research objectives should have keywords like to evaluate, to examine, to explore, to identify, to investigate, these kinds of words. And then you tell us what they are. So for my own research, for example, I want to examine women's perception of remote working pre-COVID or pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So has the COVID impacted how they view remote working? And I also want to explore the challenges females faced when working from home. I mean, the literature has told us so much, from job intensification to negative spillover, and there are also positive spillovers as well. It doesn't have to be all bad. There could be some good elements within your narrative as well. Okay? Right, so once you've ticked those boxes, you're good to go. So, if you already have a topic, you need to check that is visible, and of course, you need to speak with your supervisor. A good supervisory practice as a supervisor, you want to be prepared, you want to ask questions, you want to engage with a supervisor. It's not best practice to send them a draft an hour to your meeting time and expect that they've read it. They're human beings as well. So, and I can tell you for free that lecturers are busy, busy, busy. So give them the grace of 3 to 5 working days. If you can send your work a week earlier, that would be brilliant. Of course, that's not always visible, but obviously you still need to give them some time. And perhaps you can use your meeting period to also ask key questions that will help you to make those relevant changes even before the feedback comes through. Right, so this is a brief one on how to get a topic. It can really start from your area of interest, your field, and your supervisor may give you some directions as well. But if you're required to write a proposal before the time, then download some journals within the areas of interest. Read through, especially the abstract, to see whether it covers what you're interested in or your field, and then go all the way to the last, or let's say the end of the journal. Now you will find a section that is on areas for future studies or future investigations, whatever terms they use. What's important is that they will tell you areas that other researchers should focus on. And that's a good place to start. You would also have a good citation there to include when you talk about the significance of your research. It means that other scholars have seen how important it is. And of course, you can draw other reasons within the research. Okay, superb. So I hope to hear from you. If you've just started, let me know what's your area of interest. Drop me a DM. Let's talk about it. And of course, your constructive feedback as well, and comments. And hopefully you would, based on this little exercise, what field you're interested in, what the literature is saying. One good area to look at as well is systematic literature review within your field. It tells you what's been done. And I mean, you can replicate a study. You can also do similar researches in a different context. So maybe it was done in the IT industry, you could do yours in the hotel industry. Maybe it was done in China, you could do yours in Nigeria or Ghana or even India or the UK, or different sectors or even companies. You could decide to research on one particular company if you found maybe there's an issue. Perhaps they have had so many employees leaving the organization. You want to find out why, and these kinds of topics. Again, depends on your field, of course. All right, so I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about research methods. We'll look at literature review and other good stuff. Findings, discussion, what your first chapter should look like and what to view. I'll be expecting more questions and topics from you guys. Don't fail to send those over. And thank you very much for staying till the end. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I will see you in the comment section and you will see me in my next video. For now, remember, right here, we start from excellence. Don't say you can't, because you can. Decide to succeed and you can. No matter how difficult a course or module seemingly is, no matter what others have said, oh, this group failed or they had this average score, whatever, you are different. Choose to be different. Choose to succeed. Again, start from excellence. Thank you. Bye.